at Teacup Castle. And today, you will have seen by the thumbnail, we're actually going to be speaking about my club, Manchester United. Now, we don't talk about my team very often. I spend more time talking about your teams. And that is because my team is not in an awful lot of competitions. My team don't get to play very often, which means there are less things to say. And thankfully, there appears to have been, touch wood, less drama than usual at my club. So there just hasn't been very much to say. So I've been talking about all you guys. However, today, it is nice. It is nice to be able to talk about Manchester United because obviously that is the club I know the most about. It's the club I'm the most comfortable talking about. It's the club I'm the most opinionated on. You might find that hard to believe because I'm quite opinionated, but this is the club that I like to talk about the most. It's just there hasn't been much to say. But our Harry has given us something to say today. Harry Maguire has signed a new contract with Manchester United, reduced wages, although I cannot seem to find the specific amount of these reduced wages anywhere, but it was talked about for a long time. Reduced wages, it's another year until 2027, with the club having the option of 1 year then on top of that to extend, which is fairly standard at Manchester United. We do that all the time with everybody, so fairly standard, sort of expected, nice to actually have it over the line. But not everybody might feel that it's nice, although so far it does. So far you do. I have a poll in the chat, people. So as you come in, smash the like button, number 1. Number 2, get your vote in on the poll. Was it the right decision to give Harry Maguire a new contract? Yes, we need the cover. No, he's too old. So get your votes in. I see people have been voting already. And with all the votes that have been in so far, 100% of you so far have said yes, it was the right decision to give Harry Maguire a new contract. This is grand, because actually that's how I feel. That's where I land on it. I think it's a great idea. I'm going to talk about why. We're going to explain why. But I didn't know if it would be a little bit mixed. Paige there, yeah, Harry Maguire is the least of our worries. I 100% agree, Paige. I 100% agree. He's not even in the top 10. But guys, let me say hello to everybody. Dave Boy was here good and early. He said he reckons it's good news, but he's at work. He won't be here for this stream. He'll be here later on. I don't know, do we believe him that he's at work? Is he really at work? Is he skiving? But he came in, he said hi, and most importantly, he dropped his like on the stream. Lovely Lucky is in the house, of course, with the Glazers out message. Lots of opinion there from Lucky, and he's saying it's nice to have young players, but it's also nice to have someone to guide the young players through the bad times. Really do agree. Let me see. Rob is in the house. Hello to Rob and welcome. Rob says, I think it's great that Harry has an extended contract. He's such an important player for squad depth, and his aerial presence is always needed in and around the box. It's a shame that Casemiro wouldn't take a pay cut, because I think he would have been great for squad depth too. With Casemiro, I don't think it was to do with the wages. With Casemiro, I think he's getting older. He feels his legs are going. I think what Casemiro doesn't want is the Salah effect, basically. With Casemiro, I don't think it was to do with wages. I don't think it was to do with money. I think it was to do with the fact that he feels physically he can't continue. And to be honest, I kind of agree with him. It's different at centre-back because you don't have to do as much running, but when you look at what Casemiro does on the field every single time he plays, he's up front, he's at the back, he's in the middle, he's defending, he's attacking. It's a lot of running and physical movement, and if he's feeling that he's not at the races anymore, I think it's the right decision, but I don't think it was a financial decision for Casemiro. Rob also says, Harry isn't very quick, but he has great positional awareness. Agree. Rob says, also, Bruno isn't very quick either, but his talent in reading off the game, it means he doesn't really have to be. And we have players like that. Paul Scholes wasn't very fast, but because of the way he played his game, it didn't really matter. Shem is in the house. Lovely Shem. Hello and welcome. Shem says, good morning, lovely boss lady Lou. Hope you're happy and well today. Good morning, Rob, Lucky, and all in the chat. Hope everyone is having a good day today. All of the proud teacuppers. Harold is in the house. Hello, Harold. He says 95% of Manchester United fans should get down on their knees and put their forehead on the ground and say, Harry, I am sorry. Let me see. Who else is here? Mama Flossie has joined us. Good morning and welcome to the lovely Mama Flossie. No, not to worry, Harold. I knew what you meant. I read through it like a pro. Dibs is in the house. Welcome to Dibs. I'm back, everyone, after being run ragged by chocolate-fueled kids all weekend. Big up, Lou, in the chat for the greater good. Welcome back to Dibs, and I'm sure you're delighted to have a bit of a reprieve from all that chocolate-fueled craziness. The very lovely Jenny has joined us in the chat. Hello to Jenny. Welcome to the tea party. Oh, I'm laughing. Moonshine Rose Petal is in the chat. Hello to you. Oh God, we have a good crowd in today. Everybody's back. Everybody's back to normal today. All of the chocolate comas are over. Everybody's in recovery. But yeah. Let us talk about Harry Maguire. Now, many of you will already know I like Harry Maguire. I think he's a good player. I think he brings a lot to our team. And when it was announced that Casemiro was going to be leaving, definitely at the end of this season, that in the summer Casemiro was going to be leaving us, I did a video and I said that means we can't let Harry Maguire go. We have got to get him to sign this new reduced wage contract. I said that because for some of the things you guys have said, experience with the youth players. We have a lot of younger players in our squad now. We have a lot of younger players in our first team now and on our bench. We need that good head on the shoulders to guide them. With Casemiro going, that's a major leader in the dressing room gone. Harry Maguire has a fantastic mentality. When you look at the difficulties that Harry Maguire has gone through, the mentality required, the criticism that he faced, the amount of horror that Harry Maguire faced from fans, and some of it was fair, some of it was fair criticism. At the time, he was not performing. You're allowed to criticise someone when they're not doing particularly well. That's completely fair. But it was way over the top, some of the stuff with Harry Maguire. It was absolutely crazy. But the mentality he showed to come through that was insane. I don't think I would have a mentality as strong as he did. I think that's something that's really important, particularly when we see how we've gone wrong with young players previously. I think having that around them going forward with Harry, I think is massive. I think it's really important. And when you're losing a Casemiro, to lose a Harry Maguire at the same time, it's like boom. It's like really look at Liverpool. We speak about Liverpool. They've lost a lot of key players. They're going to lose at least one more in Salah, potentially another one in Van Dijk if things keep going. When you lose key players, big players, important players from your dressing room, it changes it. And so if you're losing a Casemiro, I personally wouldn't want to lose a Harry Maguire as well, because I think he's so important. Another reason, as well as leadership, and I can see we've got Dr. Tottenham Therapy in the house, and we have very lovely Streets in the house. So welcome to you guys. Thank you for being here. But so for me, it's not only about the leadership, the off-field stuff, it's also on-field stuff. So we used to have Scott McTominay, who I never wanted to sell, who is now doing fantastic at Napoli. And I'm on record, on video, I never wanted to sell him even before we sold him. I thought it was a mistake, and I still think it was a mistake. But look, he's gone. And the thing is, we had him, he was a fantastic aerial threat. He was great in the opposition box. The amount of headed goals that Scott McTominay had was fantastic. We now have Casemiro, who's great with his head. He's great in the air. He's a threat in the opposition box. He's going to be leaving. And we have Harry Maguire, who is a massive aerial threat in the box. And I said this again at the time when they announced that Casemiro was going to be going. I said, okay, that's a massive aerial threat going to be gone. If we lost Harry Maguire as well, we have no aerial threat left. I can't think of another player from us that's good aerially in the opposition box. Scott McTominay is gone. In the summer, Casemiro is going to be gone. You lose Harry Maguire, that is gone. And it's important. It's really, really important. If we take away all of the headed goals by Casemiro this season, I would hate to think some of the scorelines we've had, some of the clutch goals that these guys have come in with. When you're losing, and I'm not saying Harry Maguire is as good as Casemiro, they play completely differently. My point is some of the main qualities that help us so much by Casemiro, Harry also has. And if we lose both of them at the same time, like, we're in trouble. We're in serious, serious trouble. So for me, and I said it at the time, I think it's come to fruition. I 100% stand by it. By losing Casemiro this summer, we could not lose Harry Maguire as well. We just couldn't do it. Between the leadership in the dressing room, the aerial threat, the mentality for the younger players, I just don't think it was a possibility. Now, Huge is in the house, the very lovely T. Titan. I spotted him there, and he said, I just hope it doesn't stop us from getting another centre-back in the summer. It will. 100%, we're not getting a centre-back in the summer. So I think people probably need to face that fact. Huge is saying De Ligt, Sesko, Yaro and Lissandro are decent in the air. Lissandro has spent most of the season on in the recovery room. De Ligt, we don't know when he's coming back or what's wrong with him. So De Ligt and Lissandro can be taken straight off that list. They're not on the pitch. They're not on the pitch, so it doesn't matter what they can do. They're not on the pitch, so they can't do anything. You can't do anything from being in the recovery room, for being in treatment. You can't do anything when you're injured. So straight away, De Ligt and Yaro, or De Ligt and Lisandro Martinez, straight off the list. I'm not counting anyone who's not fit. I'm not going to count Mason Mount. I'm not going to be counting Luke Shaw, because after this international competition, he's going to be out. If you're injured for long periods, I'm not counting you. I'm not counting Mason Mount. He doesn't count. I'm not counting Lissandro. He's missed far too much time. De Ligt, we don't know. It's been a long-term injury. It depends how he recovers through the summer into next season. But as it stands, not counting him. See, if they're not playing, they don't count. You can't count somebody who's not on the pitch. Because see, when they're not on the pitch, they're not doing anything. So for me, it makes no difference whatsoever what they're capable of if they're not actually on the pitch doing it. Yaro can be decent in the air, but I don't think he's anywhere near as good as Harry Maguire. Not even close. I think maybe in the future he can be. He does have that potential, I'll give you that one. But I don't think he's at the level of Harry Maguire, and definitely not at the level of Casemiro. And who was the other one you said? Sesko, yes. Sesko seems to be finding his feet, but I don't want it all to be on one player. And that's my problem. I don't want it all to be on one player. Yes, Sesko is finding his feet. Yaro has shown potential to be able to do it. But maybes and potentials and two players that are constantly injured or that have been injured for long term. Sorry, that's not good enough for me. That's just not where it's at for me. I'm not relying on players that have shown themselves to be unreliable. Let me see. Streets is saying, one thing we've done greatly even after Fergie retired is recruit quality centre backs. Well, we're about to find out. We are about to find out. Let me see. I just want to see, am I missing anything? Right, so what it does is, to be fair, Huge's point, it brings us to the transfer window. For me, we need so many positions. We need so many things. I don't think, and I said this again before the contract was announced, I don't think we were ever going to buy a centre-back, okay? And the reason, because Man United won't think like me. So I think, well, I'm not counting Lissandro. He's been injured. I'm not counting De Ligt because he's been injured, and we don't know how he's coming back. Yaro is doing okay, but he's clearly developmental. Clearly developmental. He's not the finished product. He shouldn't be starting every single week. I like Aiden Heaven very much. I think he's very good, but again, developmental. So for me, And I said this way back. I said this at the start of this season, maybe at the end of last season, but certainly at the start of this season. I said, we need centre-backs. And everybody was like, no, we need other positions. We need this and we need this and we need this. We don't need centre-backs. We've loads of centre-backs. And I'm like, no, we need centre-backs. We definitely 100% need centre-backs. And now all of a sudden, everybody's agreeing we need centre-backs. And I'm like, we do. I've said this, but the club is going to look at it and go, well, we've got Lissandro and we've got De Ligt and we've got Heaven and we've got Yoro and now we've got Harry. We don't need centre-backs. We play two at the back, or two centre-backs now. We've gone back to a 4 at the back, which means we need 2 per match. We've got 5. Even if Harry hadn't signed, we have 4. They're definitely not going to buy a centre-back. Even if Harry leaves, they were never going to buy a centre-back, because what they're going to say is you've got 2 starters and you've got 2 subs. You've got 2 first-teamers, you've got 2 for the bench. If somebody gets injured, you've already got a replacement. They were never going to buy a centre-back. I think we need one. I've been saying it, like I said, for an entire season. But they were never going to buy one. So it's not, I believe, very strongly, I don't think it's a case of, well, they've signed Harry Maguire up to this new contract, therefore, they're not going to sign anybody else. They're never signing anybody else. If Harry didn't agree this new contract, if they didn't keep Harry for another year, they're still not buying a new contract, or they're still not buying a new centre-back. I don't think the two are related. They were just never going to do it, because that's the way they operate. And because there are other positions that we probably do need as much, if not more. Like if we look at the Manchester United team, right? Let's start at the front and work our way back. So you've got Sesko, who is developmental, who's grown into his position, who seems to have hit a bit of form, who seems to be finding his feet, who does seem to have the potential and the talent. However, and again, something I have been saying for years, and I do mean years, Manchester United should never only have one striker. A team like Manchester United should never only have one striker, regardless of who that striker is. I don't care who the striker is. It could be prime Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't care. Prime Van Nistelrooy. I don't care. Prime Wayne Rooney. Don't care. You have got to, at Manchester United, have more than one striker. One striker just absolutely is not enough for a team like Manchester United. So we need another striker. We absolutely need another striker, 100%. Flossie, I will come back to that. Because I think Dave Boy said something similar as well. I don't think so, being honest. Flossie has said, do you think that Maguire staying is an indication that they're keeping Carrick? No, I don't think it's in any way related whatsoever. I don't think it was Carrick's decision. He probably was happy for it. He probably would have agreed to it. I don't see him protesting it. But no, I don't think it indicates that he's staying, because as I said, we have so many players that we need to get in the transfer window, which we'll keep going through. I think it's a club decision. And I actually think, and get your thoughts in on this, because this is my theory, Harry Maguire is getting older. He's getting slower. He's starting to pick up injuries, okay? I think he might retire at the end of this contract. I think whether he stays the year or whether they decide to keep him, to extend it to the 2028, I think when this ends, I think Harry Maguire wants to retire at Manchester United. And I think because we need so many other positions, I think Manchester United are happy for that to happen. Look what we did with Johnny Evans. It's like an experienced head, somebody who knows the club. I think Maguire is the Johnny Evans. And we've done that long before Carrick. We'll continue to do it long after Carrick. I don't think it's an indicator one way or the other that Carrick is going or staying. I don't think it's in any way related. Rob, I do see your comment. The reason I'm not going to discuss it right now is I'm actually going to do a video on it, because obviously a lot of people have been asking me whether I want to keep Carrick or not, and I just emphatically don't. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a separate video fully on that to discuss it 100%, because I think it needs a video. I think it needs to be more than like a 5-minute section. I think I want to like explain it properly, what I mean, and I'm going to put up some stats and stuff so it's not just me randomly thinking it. But I see you. I'm on to you. People are talking about Van de Ven. I don't want him. He's a loose cannon. I'm not even discussing his talent or ability. He's a loose cannon and his attitude stinks. I don't want him. Dr. Tottenham therapy, no deal. Lucky would like Carlos Baleba, another one I don't want. Don't want him. His attitude stinks as well. To be fair, sometimes my attitude stinks. I wouldn't hire me. I'm hired to work with. Imagine being my boss. Imagine, I'm not good at having a boss. It doesn't suit me. Disastrous. So like, I am the type of personality you wouldn't want to hire, because I'd be out there doing all the interviews. Paige agrees with me. Van de Ven can stay far away from United. Yes, he can. Yes, he absolutely can. But, so we started at the front. We definitely urgently need another striker. That is not a reflection of Sesko. That is a reflection of the fact that Manchester United should always have more than one striker. Minimum Manchester United should have 2 strikers. We must get a striker in the summer. Absolutely. And not one of these can play across the front 3. Not one of these that's a 9.5 or a false whatever. A striker. I want 2 strikers. That's it. I want another striker. Absolutely. Then we have kind of Bruno. It depends if Bruno goes. Nobody knows if Bruno's staying or going, because when he got the offer, when he got the offer from Saudi last summer, he spent 2 weeks thinking about it, which means he was sorely tempted. Whether you want him to go or stay makes no difference. He thought about it for 2 weeks. If you definitely don't want to do something, if you're 100% not going, then genuinely, it's like if you're considering it, if you don't want something, you just say no. No, thank you, not interested. So for him to have thought about it for 2 weeks, it's at least possible. They're definitely going to come back in from. And if he's already thought about it for 2 weeks, if he's already been tempted, I mean, he's obviously going to think about it again. So we don't know what's happening with Bruno. So we might need, even if you're not going to ever get a Bruno replacement, kind of what I said about Salah, you're never going to get a Salah replacement, you're not going to get a Bernardo Silva replacement, but you'll need to get another player. So for me, it's a case of, if he goes, you're not going to replace him, but you will need another player. Okay? Cunha and Mbeumo are good. I think also you've got Ahmad and Dorgu for the wings as well. So I think wings are looking good. I think we need definitely another striker. I think wings are looking decent. Midfielders. Casemiro's gone, and I don't think Kobbie Mainoo's up to it. I want at least 2 midfielders. At least 2. You could probably do with 3, but let's face it, we're never getting 3. But we need at least 2. At least 2. So I want a striker and I want 2 midfielders. Casemiro's leaving. Kobbie Mainoo is not good enough. I know that is not popular. I know a lot of people really like him, think he's brilliant, and that's fine. You are absolutely entitled to that opinion. I'm not trying to convince you otherwise, but for me, he's not good enough. Off the bench maybe, as a squad player maybe, as a starter for Manchester United in the midfield, no, he is not good enough. So I want 2 midfielders. A lot of people, and Streeter's the second person today to say Baleba, I don't want him. I think his attitude stinks. I think he's had a really bad season. I think the fact that he's had this season after not getting the move, I don't want him. Again, I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's better than Mainoo, and I don't think Mainoo's good enough. So, don't want him. No, thank you. I would love an Anderson. I would love Tonali, but I just don't think it's realistic. I want someone, and look, I've said this before, guys, I'm not a scout. I'm not very good. If somebody has like a suggestion of a player, I'll go and look at them. But I mean, I don't know all of the players, certainly not the ones outside of the Premier League. I would love, Dr. Tottenham Therapy is saying, I'm telling you, Wharton is the one you need. I'm not totally against Wharton. I've watched him a little bit this season as well. For me, I just don't want Baleba. My thing with Baleba is, it's hard. The Manchester United shirt is heavy. It is a heavy, heavy, heavy shirt to wear. We have seen really good players come in and crumble under the pressure of being a Manchester United player. If Carlos Baleba is crumbling at Brighton, what in the name of goodness me is the Manchester United shirt going to do to him? If we get a player who has had an off season, okay, and say we go and spend money on Baleba, right? Say it's 60, 70 million, which is probably about what it would be, to be fair, because they wanted 100 million last summer. So let's say we go and spend 60, 70 million on Carlos Baleba, who had one good season and then one bad season, and then he flops. Do you know what everyone's going to say? What did we do that for? This is the same mistake that Manchester United always make. We always make the same mistake. We see the warning signs and we ignore them because we like the player and we get them anyway, and then they're a problem. We bought Rasmus Højlund with a bad back. He didn't work out. We bought Sancho knowing that he had had disciplinary issues with all of his previous clubs. We bought him anyway, and guess what? He had disciplinary issues. Now we want to buy Carlos Baleba, who has had one good season, one bad season, and has shown his mentality isn't all the way there. I guarantee you if we get him next summer, we're going to be talking about the fact that he had a bad season, we bought him anyway, we didn't see the warning signs, Manchester United made the same mistake as we always make. So for me, just don't get him. Just don't get him. Try not to make the same bloody mistake again. Huge. How much do I think we will spend this summer? Totally honest, and I'm not just trying to avoid the question. I've absolutely no idea, because with our club, you never know. You just don't know. We never know what we're going to do. Our club is just so unbelievably, we never know what we're going to do. Let me see. Yes, Sancho was overrated, but my point is we knew that before we got him, and we got him anyway. My problem is we ignore the warning signs. We ignore all the red flags, and then we wonder why things don't work out. If I see even a hint of a red flag, don't want it. Because we keep doing it. We keep thinking, we see the red flag, but it's not really a big deal. We'll work around it. We see the red flag, but there's no need to panic. We see the red flag, but we can make it work. And every single time, it doesn't work out. So just don't do it. Now, like that, you guys are more than entitled to want him. I'm not saying you guys shouldn't want him, but for me, it's stupid. Not you're stupid, but for me, if the club get him, it's stupid. Because what it tells me is they haven't learned anything. Let me see. Yous are flat out. I'm ranting away here and yous are having a great old chat. Right, so we've established we're not getting Van de Ven, Dr. Tottenham Therapy. Don't care if he's very good. His attitude is insane. And so you guys, Spurs are still looking for a Kane replacement, and that's it. Clubs just they see what the priority is and then they just don't do it, and you're like, what is wrong with you? Sorry, I only read half of Street's comment earlier. He says, bring me Tonali and Baleba and Stiller for the Champions League, but I'm dreaming. Yeah, you're dreaming. You are dreaming. Let me see. Street says, I understand about Baleba's drop off. Harold is saying, I'm telling you, Sander Berge would be perfect as our CDM. I've heard a few fans talking about him, Harold, but I've not actually looked into him. Do you know what? I'm going to write down his name and maybe I'll do. Do you know those wee player profiles I do? Oh, throwing a pen at myself. Maybe I'll have a wee look. Obviously, stats can't tell you everything, but I might have a little look at him and see. We might do through the summer. Obviously we'll be doing a lot of this stuff, so I might just do a little bit of a player profile on him and see. Lucky is saying that he is open to Carlos Baleba. Street says he's underpaid and Brighton are basically trying to milk everything out of him and get 100 million. Yeah, Brighton need to catch a grip of themselves. Let me see. Streets is saying they didn't allow him his dream move for a fair price in the summer. Why would he want to work hard for them again? It makes sense. It also shows a poor mentality. It also shows petulance. It also shows if he doesn't get his own way, his performance drops off. We've had enough of them. Garnacho, Rashford, Sancho, and more. If he didn't get his own way, he's allowed to not perform properly. That's a big red flag. Big red flag. Shem. Cult leaders always say, I'm not trying to convince you before telling you to believe. One of us. Love it. Love it. Big up, Shem. That was funny. Let me see. Oh yes, the two Titans, Rob and Huge. The T Titans are both in the chat. Rob is making use of his special membership emojis, the gremlins, the not a cult, the tea Kool-Aid, the Kool-Aid tea, and we need IT support. No, Tottenham Therapy, I think he's a good player. I think he's a decent player, but his attitude overshadows that. Lucky says, I like Elliot Anderson, but we can buy 3 players for 93 million. Lucky should be doing our negotiations. Huge says, Cunha also had a red flag in defence of Baleba. Not from me. Not from me. Like I said, I know a lot of people want Baleba. I know a lot of people are in for him. We might get him and he works out. And if that's the case, fantastic, because it means it's good for United. It's just not where I'm at with it is all. Huge is also making use of all his special membership emojis. The two T Titans are getting all the membership emojis into the chat. But guys, we've only got as far as midfield. So far, I think we definitely need a striker. We need a minimum, regardless of who your picks are, we need a minimum of 2 midfielders. So that's 3 straight away, okay? I also think we definitely need a left back. We probably need 2 left backs. Luke Shaw, I guarantee it, absolutely guarantee it, when it gets to next season, after the international competition is over, Luke Shaw next season is going to be injured. Guaranteed, 100% fact. He's going to be injured. Dorgu, for me, is a left winger. When we got him, we've been playing him at left back, okay? And I was a bit iffy. I didn't really think he was good enough. I didn't really think he was for me. I thought, this one's a bit of a dud. Then we started playing him on the left wing. And I thought he was fantastic. He was brilliant. I thought he was really, truly very, very good. It unlocked him. He is a left winger. And I think if we put him back into left back, we are taking away the best parts of his game and we're making him a worse player, which is silly. So when I talk about Dorgu, for me, he's a left winger. I'm not counting him as a left back because for me, that's not where he's good. That's not his position. For me, his position where we've seen the best of him is left wing. So that's where I want to see him going forward. So for me, at the moment at left back, the only player we actually have is Luke Shaw. And I guarantee he's going to be injured next season, 100%. So we need at least 1 left back urgently. So that is so far. We need a striker. Guys, I see you talking about the coffee in there. I see it. To be fair, I also enjoy coffee. I just love tea as well. I love the tea and the coffee. I'm not picky. I like it all. But yes, Dr. Tottenham Therapy, absolutely. See if I could just sign a player up. If I could just pick a player to sign him up, that's who I'd be going for. Dr. Tottenham Therapy says you should also try and sign Morgan Rogers, but he plays a similar position to Bruno. He's a fantastic player. If I could get Morgan Rogers, you bet your bottom dollar I would. 100%. But yes, Dibs did drink the Kool-Aid. Everybody's drank the Kool-Aid. But, so for me, we need a striker, 2 midfielders, and a left back urgently. As in, we can't go into next season without those positions because if anybody gets injured, we won't have a starting 11. So for me, we must absolutely have a striker 2 midfielders, a left back. I would also like a right back because I don't think Dallow's good enough. And I've been saying for 2 years now, probably 3 at this point, Dallow is not good enough. Dallow should be sold. I like Mazraoui. I think Mazraoui's good, but we haven't seen enough of him because for some reason, Dallow keeps getting played even though he's not good enough. Hello to Choppy and welcome to the chat. So for me, urgently, striker, 2 midfielders, left back. We could do with a right back, but that would mean selling Dallow, which I would love to do, but I don't think they will. And that's before you go to centre back. So for me, this summer, I don't see us doing more than 4 players in a single transfer window. I don't see it happening. I don't see us buying more than 4 first team players. And if we're only buying 4 first team players, I don't even think we'll get 4, but let's just imagine in this magical world we'll get 4. We need a striker, we need 2 midfielders, we need a left back. Those are needs. We can't go into the next season without them. On top of that, I would like a right back and to sell Dallow, and I would like a centre back because of the injuries. So when I say I don't think it matters whether Maguire signed the new contract or didn't, we weren't getting a centre back because there is no way on planet Earth, none, Manchester United were going to be able to get a striker, 2 midfielders, a left back and a centre back. It is never happening. There's no planet, there's no possibility, 0 of that happening. No chance. So for me, striker, 2 midfielders, left back. I would then, if I could, sell Dallow, get a right back and get a centre back. It's not happening though, and we need to face reality. So, Straits no. Dallow underappreciated. He's absolutely not underappreciated. He's terrible. He's terrible. Absolutely terrible. And like I said, I've been saying this about Dallow for at least 3 years. At least 3 years. It's not about being nice on the eye. I don't care about that, whether like that fancy, beautiful football. I don't really care about that. I don't think he's very good. I think he's a bad player. I don't think he's very good. I think he's terrible defensively and I think he's okay going forward. I don't think he's very good. His primary function is to be a defender and he doesn't do it very well. If you can't do your primary function, you're not very good. He's reliable in terms of availability, but I mean, availability is incredibly important, but there's no point in being available if you're not very good. I would rather have somebody good available, and I would definitely play Mazraoui over him every day of the week. Every day of the week. But like I said, this is a long-held opinion I have with Dallow. I have felt like this for years with him. Years. He'd be gone. Out of there. But again, there'll be people that disagree with me. I know there's a lot of people that disagree with me on Manu. That's cool. Like, that's totally fine. But it's just, for me, I'd get rid of him in a heartbeat. I'd have got rid of him last season and the season before. He's not for me. He's not for me. You need to be able to do... For me, it's the same as Onana. He's a ball-playing goalkeeper. I couldn't care less. Can he save the ball? Because that's his job. His job is to save the ball, not to be a midfielder. I don't care what he can do with his feet unless he's saving the ball with them. Don't care. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's very important that the player can do their primary function before they can do anything else. I don't care if you're a good attacker, if you're a defender. If you're a defender, I need you to be able to defend, because that's your job. Defend. If you can do things on top of that, it's a bonus. But you have to be able to do your primary function. Yeah, Madrid have wanted Dallow for years. Yeah, I'm aware they can have him. They can have him, no problem at all. Absolutely. Is that a thing where will Madrid want him so therefore everyone else is wrong? No. Absolutely not. Madrid can have him. Best of luck, no problem. I hope he flies. I mean, Rashford's doing well at Barcelona. I wouldn't keep him at Man United because his attitude stunk, and when he was with us, he was walking around the pitch. So, like, a specific team wanting a player doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't change my opinion. It doesn't mean my opinion's wrong, because you're entitled to feel your way. Your opinion isn't wrong, but just because somebody disagrees with me doesn't mean my opinion's wrong. That's how I feel about him. I'd have him out the door. Out the door. But guys, let me end the poll on Harry Maguire, because we've had loads of votes. Welcome also to, I saw Imran. Welcome to Imran, who was watching from Cape Town in South Africa. Very lovely. Welcome to Imran, and thank you for being here and for joining us. But let me end the poll. Was it the right decision to give Harry Maguire a new contract? Yes, we need the cover, 89%. No, he's too old, 11%. So I think after 40 minutes of me rambling about why it was right to keep him, we've probably established how I feel about the whole situation. But basically what it comes down to is, I don't think we get a centre-back either way. So if we're not getting a centre-back either way, I'd rather bloody well have the cover than not have the cover. And I'll be honest, I think he has probably earned it. And I know all the time, and I warned you guys I'm a hypocrite, okay? I say all the time, we can't be sentimental, we have to be ruthless, we have to think with our heads, not with our hearts. But I think he's earned it. I think after everything Harry Maguire has been through with Manchester United, I think he's earned it. And he was more than happy to take the pay cut. So I'm not going to begrudge him. What I will say is I understand the other side, so I'll just mention it, even though it's not my point of view, I will mention it. For me, I would keep him. I've explained why. But there are people that say, well, we can't just keep keeping like players that aren't good enough, players that are aging out. We're spending money on a player that's no longer considered good enough or at the top of their game. And so it just shows a lack of ambition because we should be buying a centre-back. And I understand the point. I'm not disagreeing with the point. I think we should show more ambition. I think we should be able to get 6 players in a window if that's what we need. However, the reality is we won't, and we're not good enough to do that. So if we have to prioritise a position, I would prioritise the ones where we don't have a backup. So if we don't get a centre-back, okay, we do still have other players there. We're taking a risk, but we do still have players there. If we don't get a left-back, we just don't have a left-back if Shaw gets injured. If we don't get a midfielder, when Casemiro goes, we just don't have a midfielder. So there's some of these that aren't an option. We have to get them. And I think that's why we won't get a centre-back, and I think that's why it's a good thing that Harry stays, because if he goes, we're not getting a centre-back anyway. So we're just down a centre-back, and I don't want that. Imagine we didn't have Harry Maguire this season. We would have been in serious trouble. The whole season would have just been Yarrow and Heaven, and I think Yarrow had an injury at one point. So yeah, I think we'd be setting ourselves up for trouble. Rob is saying the chat is on fire today. That it is. The chat is absolutely on fire. And you know what? I love it because it's nice. As I said at the start of the video, on this channel, even though I'm a Man United fan, I don't actually often get to speak about Manchester United because we're not in any of the competitions. There's nothing really happening with us other than manager rumours and transfer rumours. And I'll be honest, the transfer rumours I don't set much store by because we get linked to everyone every year. So for me then I don't set much store by it, so I don't feel like the need to talk about a load of them. The manager stuff I'm going to do a video on. I'm going to do a video on the manager because Carrick isn't it. Carrick is not it for me. Yes, tonight is Tuesday. We have Champions League tonight. I believe they start at 8:15 or whatever their weird time is. No, they start at 8 o'clock. So I will be live tonight at the normal time of 7 o'clock. We'll probably do 7 till 7:45 or something like that. It'll not be a full hour show, kind of 45 minutes. Give everyone 15 minutes before the matches kick off to get their snacks, their drinks, and get themselves installed on their sofas. So yes, Champions League tonight, but I will still be live at 7 o'clock. Till kind of 7:45. Streets is saying Dalot makes more sense to stay than Maguire for me. Dalot stays fit and plays multiple positions and is still cheaper. The reason that I disagree, but that's fine, is because if we got rid of Dalot, we still have Mazraoui, who's very good. I think Mazraoui is better than Dalot. We would still need a backup, but we would have a ready-made first teamer, someone I think should already be in the first team. If Harry Maguire goes and Lissandro picks up another injury and De Ligt doesn't recover properly and Yoro or Heaven hit a rough patch because they're developmental players, you're done, you're cooked, you're in the bin. If we lose Dalot, we still have Mazraoui. So for me, it makes more sense to keep Maguire. But I understand what you're saying, it's just, I don't agree. Which is cool. Dun dun dun. Oh no, I'm bad at predictions, Debs. Don't you be putting the markers on me. I'm bad at predictions. I'm very bad at predictions. Harold has suddenly become excellent at predictions. I might copy his answers. Might just whatever Harold said, put that down for me as well. I did forget about those predictions though, so good job I saw that comment. That's alright, Flossie. We've been chatting away, no problem. Maz is injury prone. What makes you say that? I don't think he's been playing enough to have injuries. He was away at the AFCON, but I wouldn't call him injury prone. Either way, for me, we need centre backs. Like, you haven't answered the question. If we get rid of Maguire and Lissandro gets injured again and De Ligt is still injured or injured again, and that leaves us with Yoro and Heaven only, and one of them has a bad patch, what do we do at centre back if we don't have Harry Maguire? Because you haven't answered my question. I've answered your point, but you haven't answered my question. So let me see. I'm just looking to see if I've missed anything, but I think I've got your comments for the most part. Dr. Tottenham Therapy says Madrid also won Konate, but he's awful as well. Maybe Madrid's standards are dropping. Although, to be fair, some players play better in like the warmer climate. Sometimes it suits them better how they play, how they recover. Sometimes the warmer climate does make a difference. And you have that seasonal, what they call kind of seasonal depression, where kind of sometimes people are just happier in the sunshine, and then like their lifestyle is different, how they perform is different. Sometimes the climate can really, really matter. Let me see. What else? No, I think I've got the comments for the most part. But that's my point, Huge. We're not going to buy one. So Huge says we would need to buy a new centre-back in the summer instead of keeping him, but we're not going to. If we didn't keep him and we let him go, we're still not buying a centre-back. It's not that we've kept Harry Maguire and therefore because we've kept Harry, we're not going to get a centre-back. We're not getting a centre-back either way. Regardless, if we let him go and we didn't sign the contract with him, we're still not getting a centre-back. So that's where it is for me. Streets is saying sometimes I forget we still have Mazraoui when we talk about right backs. Right, guys and gals, that is us. That actually was longer than I expected, but it was a good chat. And you know what? It was nice to talk about Man United because obviously we're not playing games yet. Still, it feels like 6 lifetimes since Man United are playing a game. But you know what? It's nice to talk about them. It's nice to have a chat about them. It's nice to, remember that there's a football team that I support. So, it was really enjoyable. I enjoyed the show today, guys. I enjoyed the conversation. And I know, some of my opinions are not the majority. So, I don't think Mainu's good enough. I don't want Baleba. I don't want to keep Carrick. I would sell Dalot. I've a load of opinions. And they're not, purposely... against the grain. I don't go out of my way to be like, what does everybody else think? And I'll just go with the opposite. I don't do it on purpose. Those are my genuine opinions and I can explain them. It's just, I know sometimes my opinions are against the grain. So if you don't agree with me, That's totally fine. That's 100% fine. As I said at the start, we're all fans. We've all got our own opinions. I'm never going to try and convince you to agree with me, but I'm also not going to agree with you just for the sake of it. You know what I mean? I'll say, no, well, this is my point. That's what I think. And if you think differently, that's cool. I might want to understand it sometimes, but I'm never going to be like, oh, I can't believe you think that, unless it's something really crazy. If it's something mental, then maybe. But for the most part, I'm never going to judge you for having a different opinion than me. Lucky is saying, I'm sticking with the manager, Carrick, because I don't want Nagelsmann. He is not a Premier League proven. Dibs is saying, I'm not putting the markers on you, Lou. I'm trying to motivate you. A free cup of tea for every point you get this week for the greater good. Right, guys. Thank you very, very much for being here. Thank you for spending your afternoon with me. Thank you for getting so involved in the comments. Really great stream, really enjoyable stream, lots of conversation. As I said, it was lovely to talk about my team for a change. Did enjoy it. Smash a like on the video if you haven't done so already. I will be back at 7 p.m. this evening before the Champions League games kick off. We'll finish up about 15 minutes before it. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will talk to you all very soon. Have a good one.